Everyone I know. Hey guys, this is Andy. Just doing a quick intro here for this new series that we have called EIK in the Wild. This is the first of 4 interviews that we recorded at Disc Jam 2018. This first one is Rob Compa, the guitarist of Dopapod. Rob was an artist at large at Disc Jam this year. Rob was working very, very hard over the course of the weekend. This is recorded on Thursday at about 9 o'clock. I'd only been on site for about 3 hours, and I'd already seen Rob play twice. So you can imagine at that rate how frequently he was working over the course of this weekend. I was making jokes with my friends saying that, Rob's guitar would wake me up in the morning and put me to sleep at night, which is really not a stretch at all. He was all over the place that whole weekend, just shredding. I really want to thank Rob for taking time out of his busy schedule to come talk to us, come clown around with us. He did a really great job both on stage and on the podcast. You can check out Rob's stuff at dopapod.com or robcompaguitar.com. This whole series, I have a co-host with me that's not my brother. His name is Snakes O'Sullivan. Snakes is my very good friend that I met out in Oneonta, as he reminded me this weekend, right before a Dopapod show, so there's a little synchronicity there. Snakes is a hilarious guy, and I think you will come to know that very well over the course of these interviews. We hope to have him on a proper episode of the podcast so we can really unleash his genius onto the world. He has a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/users/videoallstarsusa or facebook.com/videoallstars. So check him out there. I also want to give a quick shout out to Pete Mason, who helped me organize all this stuff. Pete Mason runs NYS Music and fanart.com. They're having an event directly after Alive at 5 next week, next Thursday, June 21st, at 9 p.m. at the Parish Public House. So that's right around the corner from the waterfront where Alive at 5 is taking place. So just walk your ass down and go see Haley Jane and Friends. So that's Haley Jane, Michelangelo Karuba of Turquoise, Bo Sasser of Kung Fu, Justin Henricks from Whirladay and the Chronicles, and Daniel Lawson of the Chronicles. It's going to be funky as hell, so get down there. Don't miss it. It's $10 at the door, so be there. And once again, I just want to thank Rob for this interview, and I want to thank everybody at Disc Jam for making such a beautiful weekend. All right, guys, get into it. Everyone I know. Welcome to Everyone I Know, the podcast where we argue about the mundane. Here we are at Disc Jam, as promised, live to tape. We're here with Rob Compa of Dopapod. Rob attended Berklee College of Music in Boston, where he met with all the other Dopa folks and started Dopapod in 2008. Since then, they've become a big name in the jam scene, selling out venues all over the country, playing major music festivals like Bonnaroo, Electric Forest, Summer Camp, High Sierra, Peach Fest, Mountain Jam, and Burning Man. That rhymed. That was nice. Rob plays guitar and sings in Dopapod, but he also has sat in on many other bands and musicians. Just to name a few, we have Zappa Plays Zappa, featuring Dweezil Zappa, Mo, O'Teal Burbridge of Allman Brothers Dead Co. and Aquarium Rescue Unit, Kofi Burbridge of Tedeschi Trucks Band and Aquarium Rescue Unit, Scott Sherrard, Stanley Jordan, and Bernard Purdy, just to name a few. In fact, Rob just sat in with our good buddies band, Space Carnival.
Yeah.
And that was very, very cool. And they played Pony. And they played...
By Genuine.
By Genuine. And All-Star as well. And
we did. Dreams do come true.
I honestly, fever dreams come true when it comes to that situation. Yeah. I never thought I would see that.
If you work hard enough, you too can play All-Star.
I mean, to have that kind of juice that Smash Mouth had, and even still has today, they've got a serious social media game.
Do they?
Yeah. Did you know that stuff that came out about DJ Khaled recently? The whole
Who is that the singer or something?
Yeah, well, he doesn't do much, but he does say his name a lot on the beginning of tracks. But he basically said that he wouldn't perform oral sex on his wife. It was a big sexist thing. And Smash Mouth said, a king is not a king unless he pleasures his queen, or something like that. And that's Smash Mouth who said that. So obviously they're still rocking through the years.
They make children's music.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the way I always saw it. I was like
I mean,
elementary school.
somebody.
It's the funny thing
They're
with
my
a band
favorite.
like Smash Mouth is you kind of write them off or something, but maybe they're cool dudes. I don't know. Maybe
don't-
they're like just awesome,
The one
like
guy,
just solid people. Who knows?
It's honestly very possible because I don't think they got like cool enough famous where like they could start becoming an asshole. You know what I mean? So like they're like still
Contrary to popular belief, nobody is famous enough to be that big of an asshole.
Well,
but
not
they do it
without-
anyways.
yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So if you haven't heard of Rob play guitar, or if you haven't heard Rob play guitar, you need to reevaluate your life decisions. In the words of the great American poet laureate, Miss Stacey Ann Ferguson, I'm so 3008, you're so 2000 and late. I got that boom, 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 that future boom, boom, boom. That's Fergie, if you guys don't know who Miss Stacey Ferguson is. So we're here at Disc Jam. I've already seen Rob play twice. He's an artist at large. He sat in with Space Carnival, and he sat in it with Aqueous,
Yeah.
and
That's right.
you did well both times.
Thank you.
Good work.
And I saw you in the back when we were at the Space Carnival show. I could like see you through the stage, and I was like, "There's no way." Like,
Really?
well, not that there's no way, but just like I was like, "No, he's gonna come out and play," and I was like, "No, he's just chilling. He's just chilling with his guitar. It's fine." Just
That's
hanging
funny
out.
that I'm standing back there with the guitar and you still think it's far-fetched that I might come
I don't know. I just wasn't ready for it.
Oh,
I don't think I understand the concept of an artist at large.
Yeah, you just walk around with your guitar and are, hope for the best, I've never done it. This is my first time doing the artist at large thing.
It's pretty cool. It's definitely interesting. Like when you came up at first, it was really cool to see you kind of like make eye contact and like start like negotiating
Yeah.
with the music back
You,
and forth.
you gotta, because, we didn't have time to rehearse or
Right.
talk much, so...
Did they tell you that they were going to play All Star?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did. They actually, I don't know, maybe a week ago, hit me up and said they asked if I would be down to play it, and I don't think they understood how down. Like they didn't even need it. If they had started playing it without telling me, I would have been. Actually, I told them this story, which right away they were like, "Okay, yeah, he's down to play All Star." A while ago, on like the last Dopapod tour that we did, we were in a Waffle House,
Okay.
and they were playing like sick, like Boys to Men and like early '90s R&B, like it's good stuff.
Yeah, no, the classics.
And like we paid our check and everything, and right before we walked out, I went to the jukebox and I put on All Star like 6 times in a row,
Oh, that's awesome.
and then I just bounced.
That's like the John Mulaney joke. Have you ever heard that?
No.
He is basically a similar situation, but they put on What's New Pussycat by
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones like 11 times in a row and just
The,
watch the
Space
place go
Carnival
to-
guys told me about that
Yep.
today. Yeah.
It seems like a very cool prank. Like I think I'm not big into pranks, but I think it's fairly harmless.
You know what
And-
the deepest part about that? I'm sorry to interrupt. The deepest part of that prank is that by the end of it, you might succeed in making somebody like What's New Pussycat.
Exactly.
And they'll be
Eventually-
forever mad at you that they're like, I can't believe you made me like that song,
I remember. Did you ever see the movie Mars Attacks?
Oh, not in forever. I tried to watch it really recently, and I kind of couldn't get through it.
They used well, probably because it's from the early '90s, and it's like
I mean,
Weird.
I live for everything. I wish it was still the '90s, so that's a thing.
I
But
believe it.
I don't know. That movie's so dark. It's really
Yeah,
dark.
there's a lot of head exploding and like
Yeah.
people crawling into other people's skin. But it was a Tom Jones song that they used to explode the aliens.
'Cause he's
brains.
in it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so if you haven't listened to our podcast before, we do little comedic topics, and we're gonna go right into one right now.
Seems like a good segue.
Yeah, of course. Tom Jones. Now, the topic is Tom Jones a hunk? Yes or no? No. So I know that you're from Rochester.
Yeah.
Me and Shane are both from Utica.
Oh, cool.
I know that Rochester has a very diehard community of people that grew up there. Like, I have to ask you, does part of your heart live in Rochester?
Oh my God, so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's also true of Utica.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have a little debate right now
Okay.
between Rochester and Utica, and so it's Rochester v Utica, Western New York versus Central New York, 585 versus 315.
Let's get it on.
Get it on. So I've got some facts about Rochester and facts about Utica, but first I want to give you what do you love about Rochester?
Well, Let me preface this by saying that I totally understand why somebody who's not from Rochester would like go there and be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know.
I
But-
know that feeling, but for Utica, and it's also people that live in Utica.
Yeah.
It's fine if you don't like it.
But it's pretty hard to describe. But I don't know, more specific things. Like I could probably find either like an open jam or a show to go to, or just jam at like a sick musician's house or something every night of the week if I want.
So there's a really vibrant music scene.
There is, if you know where to look. I
Okay.
think people don't give it enough credit. I mean, some of the best musicians I've ever met in my life, like some of my biggest influences still live there. Like just the guy down the street who I would watch when I was like 17 or something. So I love that about, and you know, I mean, there's obviously great musicians because Eastman School of Music's there, and there's like these ridiculous and sometimes kind of pretentious like jazz and classical musicians there. But and then I just love how down to earth it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think anybody has any illusions about what it is, and I like people's vibe there.
It's good to have a place that doesn't have any delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
That's very alive in
Yeah,
Utica
man.
too. In the sense where Utica might actually suck. So,
Rochester might too. I don't know.
well, here's the thing. I know that you're notorious for being a nice person. So
Am I? Wow.
I'm not
You don't
gonna-
know me well enough.
Well, we'll see. But I'm not gonna ask you to shit on Utica. I think me and Shane will do that as well.
Okay.
So if you want to join in, you can show your devilish side.
So you're about to just like shit on your own town, or
Yeah,
So
we're
is
not
this
gonna do
competition
it.
about which town is worse, not which town is better?
I think, okay, here's the thing. I did the research earlier today,
Okay.
and I ran the numbers, and I'm pretty sure that Rochester is better, but we can talk about it, can't
You know,
we?
yeah.
So let's start at the early beginnings of these two places.
Okay.
Rochester was founded in 1803 by Colonel Nathaniel Rochester, okay?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either, but Wikipedia did.
I'm not like Leslie Knope where I know, like, you know.
Utica was founded in 1798 by General Philip Schuyler, as basically a rest stop for settlers heading further west in New York. So if you're coming from like the eastern side of New York, if you're coming in through like Albany or something like that, where the forts were, they would stop in Utica, and some people got stuck, and that's basically how Utica started.
Gotcha.
Rochester's nickname is the Flour City, like the stuff you bake with
Yeah.
flour, and because it was a big flour industrial city for a while in its early beginnings, or the World's Imaging Center.
Because of Kodak, probably.
Yes, because of Kodak and Xerox.
Which is void now.
Okay,
Well,
Kodak's-
Xerox is still there.
Xerox
Kodak's
is still there. Kodak left, I believe.
Yeah.
See, this is why. Okay, let me just tell you what the nicknames for Utica are. Utica's nicknames, official nicknames,
Oh no.
are Sin City and the city that God forgot.
No.
That is what's on the Wikipedia page. So
Seriously? Why? Oh my god.
now I'll tell you why. The reason why it's called Sin City is because there was a lot of corruption in Utica
Okay.
in the government.
The city that
Throughout
got
like
forgot.
the 50s and 60s, the mob was like fairly well established there. Apparently,
Okay.
every like person there was like, oh yeah, my uncle, he's in the mob. you know.
Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, kind of.
Nobody knows somebody, but they all like to act like it. And then the city that God forgot, I believe, has to do with the deindustrialization that happened there. Like a lot of factories left, and then shit got terrible. in
Okay.
Utica. So don't feel bad shitting on Utica, and don't think it's weird that we shit on Utica because it's kind of a time-honored tradition, as far as the town goes.
Yeah.
Rochester's motto is "Made for Living." Rochester, made for living. Utica does not have a motto. So I made up one.
Sorry.
No, that's a good one actually. The motto I came up with was "Look at you. Where else are you gonna go?"
Oh man, that is a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean it's saying like, what? You think you're better than me?
You think you're too good for Utica?
Utica, you can't sit down and have a plate of Rickies.
all of a sudden, you're from Long Island, and when you're in Utica.
People do talk like that there. Though.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you get a lot of Italian people there, so
Yeah.
it tends to be you get a lot of
You got a lot of people who talk like this.
Yeah, you get a lot of that too.
I think Mo started in Utica.
Yes, they did.
That's a good redeeming
Yes,
quality. I
that
love
is-
Mo.
So there is a couple things that's good.
Yeah,
about
there you
Utica.
go.
I'm going to jump right to. We can talk a little bit more about the other things, but I'm going to jump right to some of the good things about Utica,
There
which
you go.
are the food. Food in Utica is very good, but here's the thing. This is
That's
where we
so
go
good.
head to head on Rochester because food in Rochester is also very good, and there are some signature dishes in Rochester.
Yeah.
So Utica, we've got chicken riggies, Utica greens, half moons, tomato pie, and then like a bunch of ethnic food.
Could you describe what's a half moon?
Okay, so a half moon is like that black and white cookie.
Oh,
that you'll
dude,
get.
those are everywhere though.
But here's the thing. What you'd think the half moon is a black and white. Those are like a downstate thing. And those are like harder cookies with like hard icing.
Okay, but we have those in Rochester too.
You have the soft ones?
Oh,
cake
with
cookies?
like cake frosting on it.
Yes,
That's
yes.
dude.
Originated in
That's the
Utica.
only way you should do it.
Yes.
Okay, well, Utica just scored some major points for me.
Thank you.
Those are hard to
Mr.
find too.
Outstanding.
Outside of New York State, like everyone is like it's basically like waxy kind of.
Yes.
You know what I
yes.
mean?
They-
They're still pretty good, but like
It's just not the same.
no.
The
It's
other,
supposed to be birthday cake practically.
yeah,
You know?
basically. Honestly, when I eat them, most of the time I wipe off like half the frosting. But I know I want to have
Oh.
it there. I like to have it there just in case.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's, do you know what chicken riggies are?
No,
So chicken riggies is short for chicken rigatoni, which is very undescriptive.
chicken riggies.
So
I like that
basically,
name.
it's like a penne alla vodka type sauce, like
Okay.
a cream sauce, but it's chicken, the cream sauce, and then it has like peppers and mushrooms, like hot peppers, like hot cherry peppers.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
that sounds
Um,
great.
Then there's also, have you ever had tomato pie?
No, I don't think, not to my knowledge.
Pizza without cheese.
Oh, that doesn't. I'm not interested in that.
And
It's
it's
good.
cold?
It's basically
It's
like
cold.
It's cold. Yeah, it's served cold.
Yeah.
No cheese.
Whose idea was this? Like,
Johnny tomato pie.
yeah, you know.
So it's basically like, it's like a piece of bruschetta.
Am I being too hard on Utica right now?
You're not being hard enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need
Wow.
you to really just dig into the venom and like access that.
All right. Well, I mean, we only played Utica twice. One time I had the flu, and I'm not happy about that. And then the other
See?
time we played at the Electric Company, which isn't there anymore.
Okay.
And the only place I could find to eat was, I'm pretty sure, a Mafia bar.
Okay.
Like, it was weird. And then I went in and asked for like a hamburger, and they looked at me like I was nuts. Like it's just a front, you know?
We don't sell hamburgers here.
They did, but he was like, yeah, I think we got some in the back or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's.
Other than that, I can't think of much to say about Utica
sometimes people in Utica aren't
because it's
super friendly.
forgetful. Is
There you
that
go.
girl?
Yes,
Am I getting
that's-
there?
Yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so what are some of the regional dishes from Rochester? I have them written down, but I want to test your knowledge.
I mean, the main one's the garbage plate for
Yes,
sure.
Of course. Can you name what's in a garbage plate?
Oh man, I love telling people this who don't know.
Yes.
Okay, so I could go into this for a while. Now, says a garbage plate, but really, what you got to do is get it in like a styrofoam to-go container because you might not finish it for one thing.
Right.
But if you don't, you're a wimp. And also, you get more food that way. And one half is filled with home fries or French fries. It's 2018, man. They're getting progressive. And then the other side is filled with macaroni salad, but like generic. It can't be like boutique-y shit.
I've heard this a lot.
It's got to
about
be
it.
like cheap ingredients.
Yes.
You can also sub any of those out for like baked beans. People do
Okay.
that, which is too heavy for me. And then on top of that, you either put like 2 cheeseburgers or 2 hot dogs. But this segues into another food from Rochester, which is white hots. We have
Yes,
white hot dogs.
yes, love
And
them.
they're sort of like they're connected, the garbage plate thing and the white hot thing. So you either get red hots or white hots. They're both delicious and they are different. They taste different. And then you cover it with like they call it chili, but it's almost like somebody like ground up hamburger meat into a fine paste and then
Yep.
like poured hot sauce all over it and
Yes.
stirred it.
Yes, it's called hot meat sauce.
Hot
right? Or
meat sauce.
Meat hot sauce.
It's diarrhea. It looks
Diarrhea.
like diarrhea.
Okay.
And then you put like diced onions if you want on top, and then ketchup and mustard, and then you go to town until there's nothing left, man.
I've been told it's the ultimate hangover food.
It's great. You're only supposed to eat them at night when you're drunk.
Okay.
Like you're a lunatic if you eat them at 3 p.m. But I've done it. You know, we've all done it.
Okay. We've all had those days.
Yeah. And also because I was a vegetarian for a long time, and now I'm kind of getting out of it. But for a long time, if I was home and wanted a plate, which I could give myself like maybe 1 or 2 plates a year, I can get
Okay.
away with. But I would do mozzarella sticks instead of meat.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah.
keep the same shape too. You go from hot dog to mozz stick
Yeah.
and keep that same cylindrical shape.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so how about so here's the thing. I see a lot of places people are claiming dinosaur barbecue as
Okay.
a Rochester thing.
Started in Syracuse.
Started in Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is that? Do you identify as Rochester being
No.
Okay.
But I identify dinosaurs being like like an I-90 thing.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. It's like an upstate New York thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I think ours is the second one. Oh, Wegmans too.
Wegmans.
That's another
the
thing.
big one.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's something that I'll concede right now, and it's really sad because I don't want to seem like I'm just giving it all over to you. I got to defend my homeland, but Wegmans is so much better than Price Chopper. So much better than Price Chopper.
There's also Tops, and who cares about Tops? You know, I think Tops is they're about done.
Yeah, I the last time I saw Tops was on a pack of matches. It was an old pack of Tops matches, Tops brand matches at my parents' house. Yeah, Wegmans is fantastic though. They have like everything.
Yeah.
And the to-go food is fantastic.
Oh, it's so good. So the house that I grew up in, which my parents still live in, and they never moved or anything. From day one, I lived in that house. Half a mile down the road from us is like the oldest remaining Wegmans.
Okay.
It's not the original Wegmans, but it's the oldest one that's still open.
Okay.
And it's just normal grocery store. Like
Okay.
the really old ones were just normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think that the Wegman family, like, instead of having like 900 average grocery stores, decided to have like, they were like, we could have like 25 super sick grocery stores.
Yeah.
And eventually, I want to say it was around like 2000 or something, these like crazy mega Wegmans started popping up, and we're like, we couldn't, you
Megamans.
can get lost in them. Megamans, that's great. Yeah. And my dad actually went to high school with Danny Wegman. Like they knew each other. Yeah.
The Danny Wegman?
Yeah,
the one from the store?
Yeah, the Danny Wegman. And we always used to watch the commercials, and there's this one from back in the day where Danny Wegman would be like, I'm Danny Wegman, and I grew up on a farm. My dad would be like, he didn't grow up on a fucking farm. Like, he's full of shit, you know?
I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Okay, how about what about sponge candy?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
What's sponge candy?
Sponge candy is apparently it's like this it's like chocolate covered kind of like wafer cracker on the inside. They're like the size of like a truffle.
Okay. I got to try that. I'm not, at this point in my life, I'm not a big sweets person.
I don't eat sweets usually.
If I don't eat them at all, I don't crave them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never sugar crash, or like if I eat some sugar right now, I'd be like, oh, this is so good, and then I need to take a nap somewhere. So it's just not. I don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna be up till 2 tonight. You're playing it too.
I'm gonna be up till probably like 4 or 5. You know,
That's insane.
Once the set's done, and then you hang out with people, and then you can finally get your car out and drive to the hotel. Yeah, you know.
Okay, so what else we got here? Now, do you know Speedy sauce?
Yeah.
Marinate. Does that count as a Rochester thing? I think technically
No,
it's from
Speedy's is a Binghamton
yeah.
thing. Yeah, I've had Speedy's once.
Okay.
It was great. It was on a class trip to Boston and New York City.
That's interesting.
And then, well, it was chill. You know, it was like post-graduation, and then
Okay.
I'm going to sidetrack here. I actually, in high school, I played in like a traditional Irish folk band that my school band teacher formed. Like that was his thing, was like Irish, like Celtic music.
What instrument did you play?
I played guitar in it.
Oh, guitar.
That's kind of the only instrument I got. That
Yeah.
and singing.
Okay.
And so after high school, the summer after, he like booked like a mini tour for
Okay.
us. We would play a lot. We would gig on St. Patrick's Day. We'd be at like the big hotel where everyone was wasted. We'd be there, these like 15-year-old kids playing Irish tunes for everybody to get hammered to. And it was kind of some of the first gigs I ever did. But that the trip was for that, and it was pretty mellow, so we stopped like partway there and ate Speedies. 'Cause one of the guys was like, you got to try Speedies. They're so good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are breweries associated with each place. So we have Genesee Brewery in Rochester.
Yeah,
that face says it all.
I got a Jenny Cream Ale. I live in Vermont now, up in Burlington, and there's amazing beer there. But for some reason, I think I just was trying to be frugal. but I was like, I'll take a Jenny Cream Ale. It's like $2, and it tasted like soap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Made from the pure waters of the Genesee River.
Also, fun fact: the only other river that flows north besides the Nile.
Oh,
Did you know
that's
that?
good. That's
I could be wrong on that. Maybe that's just something my dad told me, and maybe he's not even right about it. But I think that's a thing.
It was right after he told you that.
I'm gonna get so much shit if I'm wrong. People are gonna be like, actually.
Danny Wegman's gonna email you and be like, I did grow up on a farm.
I grew up on a farm. He's a fan. He listens to my podcast. Yeah.
And then in Utica, we have the Map Brewery, which is Saranac beer.
Oh,
Utica
Saranac
Club.
Saranac's great.
The only beer I ever knew about growing up.
Yep.
What beer is that?
Utica Club.
Utica Club. I've never heard of that.
It's okay.
All right.
It's like a standard Pilsner. Like if you can't for some reason, there's no, PBR or Hams, the new PBR.
Oh, wow.
You can get some UC at the Comets games, the local hockey team. When they sing the Star Spangled Banner, they go, "Oh, say can you see?"
When I went to college in Boston, and there were these beers called Brewbakers.
Okay.
Where you had to give the bottles back when you were done because they recycled the bottles and would just pour more beer into the bottles.
Without like cleaning.
It was like beer for broke kids who just turned 21.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always that beer that you have when you're in college or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't really buy a fancy beer. And I think that it sticks with you in a very like nostalgic way.
Well, I still like shitty beer.
Have
Yeah.
you guys tried Mountain Brew?
Yes,
No.
the
It's
Stewart's brand. Yeah.
It's the cheapest beer there is. And
Oh,
I drank
really?
it when I was a teenager.
Wow.
It was, I don't remember the price, but it was incredibly cheap, and only Stewart's seems to have it, and it tasted like shit.
Wow. I like bad beer, but there's a limit. Like, I don't like Jenny. I don't like Natty Ice or
Okay.
like, what is it called?
Keystone.
Keystone. But other than like Rolling Rock, PBR, I
Miller
like
High
that
Life?
stuff. Yeah, I'll drink a Miller. Totally. With some lime in it, man, it's great.
Lime and a Miller. That's an innovation.
I mean, they're the same. That and Corona, don't let them fool you.
Oh yeah,
they're the
no.
same
It's just a
thing.
fancier bottle.
That's probably the same exact beer, and they're just like, put this one in the Corona bottle. You know?
Pretend it's Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've gone through just about everything. So there's a couple things. Rochester's won awards from like Farmer's Almanac named them the most livable city in 2007.
Really?
Yeah, and
Cool, I guess. I don't know.
and Forbes named it third best place to raise a family in the United States. So that's pretty good.
Wow.
In Utica, we didn't win any awards. But I made up another
made up one?
I did in 1982. They won best place to take a piss off of 90. Because they didn't have rest stops back then. I also looked that up. I got a little anal about
In
this
1982, they didn't have rest stops?
I didn't actually look
Oh,
it
you
up.
made
I
that
lied
up
to you.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it illegal to pee on the side of the road?
I think so.
It probably
I think
is.
you can get public
It's like
indecency.
jaywalking, like it's rarely enforced, but like something liberating about like peeing like in nature,
Yeah.
you know?
I've always
Sometimes I
wanted-
do it even though there is a real option.
I think it gives you a second to be with your thoughts
Yeah.
and kind of just,
Be an animal.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no target. You have this whole open
Yeah.
space that you can spray.
And also, like around here, I would rather do that than go in a porta potty because my biggest pet peeve by far at festivals, which this isn't the case, they have it here, is when they don't have soap in the.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I'm just
Well,
like,
it's early yet.
I'm gonna get
It's
the
first
flu.
day.
yeah, they do a good job here though. So
What was I gonna say? Also, this is a weird fact that probably I thought was interesting. So I have the highest murders per capita. Of
I
New
thought
York
Rochester
State.
had that.
Here's the thing: it was murder capital, but it's not anymore. This is
Ah.
2015. This was done. Just notable cities, literally cities that I've heard of. New Hartford, which is my hometown, and not Shane's hometown. You're from Clinton, right, Shane?
Yeah, I'm one over.
One over.
Are these like boroughs of Utica or something?
Yeah, they're like the suburbs.
Oh, okay.
Borough is a very charitable term. It would assume that it's a metropolitan area.
Yeah, and I've looked it up. These towns surrounding Utica were founded before Utica was. It's like I live in a historic village. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where I grew up.
Wow.
Utica was just like it was a military fort that General Schuyler
Mhm.
was there, and I guess the army had nowhere to go.
No
So they're
shit.
just like, yeah,
It used to be
town
called
it.
Fort Schuyler, and
Yep.
then they realized that all these places around were taking ancient Greek names like Ithaca and
hmm
stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And Utica is
Syracuse, Cortland.
Utica is it's a Roman city. I think it's where Tunisia is now.
Oh.
this is very smart for our podcast, by the way.
Sorry, I was humming A Night in Tunisia. My bad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
Okay, so murders per capita, highest of the cities that I recognized. New Hartford, which is where I grew up, was number 14.
Cool.
Albany, where I reside currently, is number 13
On the murder list?
on the murder list.
My brother lives in Albany, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice city.
He laughs
not-
after.
We're not here to litigate that, okay? It's better than Utica, for sure. And then Binghamton is number 9. Utica is number 8.
Mhm.
Syracuse number 4. And Rochester's number 3. Number 2.
Cha-ching.
Number 2,
Got to be tough.
Buffalo.
Wow.
Number 1, Troy.
Troy is
Troy,
the
New
murder
York.
per capita.
Yes, highest murder per capita
Wow.
in 2015.
Was I just in Troy for some reason? I can't remember.
There's a
I don't
dinosaur
remember.
barbecue in Troy.
It's a newer one, right?
Yes, it
now
is.
they have in New York City too. Did you hear this thing? Like somebody made like something about like food that comes out of New York State, and New York City got credit for the garbage plate.
That is some nonsense.
Dude, sit the fuck down, New York City. Like,
You get so much. People
like,
refer
dude,
to you as
you
New
get
York.
Just give us this one fucking thing, man. You know, I don't know
that's-
how they misconstrued that because those are different planets.
Oh, absolutely.
Like New York City was this far away magical place when I was a kid. Like,
Right.
and then one day I was like, wait, I live in New York too. Like, and I started thinking that was kind of cool, but then I was like, they're so different. You know,
Oh yeah. Well, it's
I didn't even go to New York City until I was like 17. It was like 6 hours away.
This is the same reason why I get upset when Utica people get upset when people call black and whites half moons, because black and whites are a downstate thing.
Yeah.
And half moons are a central New York thing.
Yeah, man.
But speaking of murders, there's actually speaking of murders, I listen to a lot of murder podcasts. I'm like very into true crime lately.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I was listening to one about the Hillside Strangler.
Is this like the Serial podcast or something like that?
I listen to a lot of Last Podcast on the Left, which is like it's like
I got to check that out.
it's good. It's really
Cool.
good.
I don't listen to much music on drives anymore. You know.
I find that podcasts have a tendency to melt time a little bit better than music does.
Yeah.
You-
A lot of times I find if music's on, I'm still like just sitting there thinking as if there weren't any on at
Right,
all. It's the
exactly.
same to me, you know.
But the Hillside Stranglers were both from Rochester,
Wow.
and there was another serial killer from Rochester called the Alphabet Killer.
Oh, there's a movie about that.
Yeah, so they don't know. They think that it might have been the same people because they lived in Rochester. They were there at that time. But basically, they called him the Alphabet Killer because it was all women that he killed.
Mhm.
So good for him. But what
Wow.
an asshole.
Wow.
Not spreading it around. But they all had the same. They had alliterative first names and last name. So it'd be like Mary Magdalene or
Yeah.
like Annabelle.
Whoa,
Averance.
that's creepy.
And then he dumped them in places around Rochester that started with the same letter of the name. So it was some seriously calculated stuff.
And then there's also the Shawcross guy. What the hell's his name?
Shawcross.
There's a serial killer, like his last name was Shawcross. I can't remember, like Arthur Shawcross or
Okay.
something like that. And that was around Rochester too.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how there are like local legends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you know what? I actually have one more thing that we can litigate in. Like I said, this was already decided before. This was decided so long ago when Rochester shot up to a population of 201,000.
Kaboom!
I got to get all the facts out.
Take that.
I spent an hour on this. So notable people from Rochester are John Lithgow, Tay Diggs, Kristen Wiig, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Susan B. Anthony.
I've looked up the Kristen Wiig thing because
Okay.
I'm a Kristen Wiig fan.
I love
I've got the
Kristen Wiig.
hots for her.
Yeah.
I love her. I think she actually she's from like maybe Syracuse or
Okay.
something, but went to U of R or something like
Okay.
that for like a year or something
Okay.
like that. But I don't know if that's true.
Well, we'll give you Kristen Wiig because on the Utica list is Dick Clark, and he just had a TV show there for a little while. He was on WKTV.
Oh, no way.
And Mo, we already said,
Yeah.
are from
Uh-huh.
Utica. And do you watch Simpsons?
Of course.
Superintendent Chalmers is from Utica. The steamed hands bit.
Oh.
He goes, I thought we were having clams. And then he goes, no, it's steamed hams. I'm from upstate New York. It's a dialect thing. He's like, well, I'm from Utica, so that's not. I've never heard that.
That's great. Oh, man. So can I think of some more from Rochester, too?
Absolutely.
Steve Gadd.
Okay.
Eric Clapton's drummer. He was Paul Simon's drummer. He's like the ringer drummer of the 20th century.
Okay.
Actually went to high school with his kids. And Chick Corea.
Okay.
No, not Chick Corea. What am I talking about? Oh, man.
That'd be cool.
Oh, man. I'm getting hungry or something. No, who is it? The Chuck Mangione.
Oh, Chuck Mangione, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Which now, like, because of like being a kid and watching TV, automatically associate Chuck Mangione with King of the Hill.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
only see him as an animated
The
character.
Oh
Megalomart.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Megalomart, and he like lives there in like a
Yeah.
toilet paper teepee. Can I think of any others? That's all I can think of.
And you, Rob.
And me.
So I think that we're all pretty sure, right? Utica is the best place to live.
It's
Yeah.
better.
It's
Yeah,
better.
that's why we still live there.
That's
I'm
why we
always
still-
rooting for the
Yeah, we both
underdog.
moved.
Yeah.
Utica. Oh, new motto for Utica. How about this? Utica. Can't wait to see you go.
Oh man, there you go.
Yeah, I think that's good. And one last thing I gotta ask about because I've never had this. Is
Sure.
Abbott's frozen custard.
Yeah,
Is that a big thing in Rochester?
it is. They actually opened one in Boston years ago too.
Okay.
I think they expanded a bit. My sister worked at Abbott's when I was a kid, and I would go in there and get free ice cream. It's standard, It's
Yeah.
just it's frozen.
I've got
Custard.
one question I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
Would you clone yourself if you could, just to have another you?
No,
Like,
that's
it's-
way too weird.
like you don't own him, but he's you and he has his own life.
No, I'm not about getting into that.
All right.
Too weird. Too much that can go wrong. Like some things are just better left undone.
All right.
What about you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Why would you want to do it? Just to get more done?
No. Oh no. He would live his own life, do his own thing.
Oh.
I just want, I don't know, another one of me, interested in the same things.
Oh, really?
I don't know. We could
I already kind of drive myself nuts. So
play Mario Kart against
So-
each other.
yeah.
But then you'd always tie and shit.
It'd be interesting to see how different the other one ended up being just based on the surroundings he
Like
came up in.
environmentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know. Would he start off as like a baby who didn't know anything?
No,
like,
no.
Mentally,
He'd
I mean,
come out of the machine looking like me.
and acting like he has the same memories and everything.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
If I had a second me, I would definitely be using him. I don't want to say that I would just make him do chores because I don't think that's fair. I think we would share chores.
You can't make him do anything.
Oh, I can. He's my clone. I'm number one. He's number two. Come on.
What if you are already a clone of another one of you that
Wait.
like you killed him or
Yeah,
something?
then you
and-
might not
check
think
my
that.
Oh
eyelid, like
yeah,
in,
the sixth day.
Yeah.
Totally, dude. I love that movie.
Is that
That-
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, Schwarzenegger. He checks
Yeah.
under his eyelid for the bumps.
Oh, it's
That was just
such a
stunt-
piece of shit. I love it. It's so good.
I think it's really funny because, like, looking back on that now, like, I've gotten a sty in my eye before.
Okay.
And, like, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, am I a clone? Like, I'm the first version of myself.
I know who I am. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a clone, I would definitely do a lot of hijinks. Like, I think I would probably get 2 dates to prom, and then it wouldn't be like, well, that doesn't really make sense. Not 2 dates to prom, one at prom, one at dinner, and then you're running back and forth, but you don't have to do the running. You just have 2 dates and 2 lovely evenings.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be a good sitcom.
Just clone boys.
That is a good sitcom.
Yeah, Clone Boys.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Clone High back in the day?
No,
It
what's
was like
that?
an
I've
MTV
seen it.
animated show where they like have this high school that's all clones of like famous
Like
people throughout
Gandhi.
history. Yeah,
Gandhi
Gandhi's
was
one of
a
them.
student there.
Yeah. Gandhi, JFK, Abe Lincoln's like kind of the
Yeah.
main character. Joan of Arc.
What do they do on the show? Do they just have, like, kissing
They just
parties and stuff?
yeah, they just do like stupid teenage stuff, but they're like clone celebrities. It's really funny. It's a super funny show.
I'll have to check it out.
I think it was only one season.
Yeah,
It's
you
one of those great shows that like was misunderstood and just didn't make. Freaks and Geeks is the
Exactly,
ultimate
before its
for
time.
me. Freaks and Geeks is maybe my favorite show ever.
I just watched that, like, last year. I've been.
For the
I've
first
watched it
time?
so many
Yeah, for
times
the
at this
first time.
point. Yeah.
And it was one of those things that, like, you know, for a long time people are like, you should watch this. And I was like, I'll get to it.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually I did, and I really enjoyed it.
I watched it when it was actually on TV. I was a freshman in high school when it was on.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I was a geek, and there's a lot of like guitar and music, like rock band
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
in it, and so that like really like it got me, you know.
yeah, and she goes on Dead Tour at the end, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember the
Spoilers.
theme song by Joan Jett that's in Shrek. I
yeah.
remember I was with my mom and my family. We were going to see something else, and like we had just finished watching the movie, and we like snuck into Shrek, and that song was playing. There were like a bunch of knights like jousting each other. Shrek was like trying to prove he
That
was
he's
worthy or
strong or
something, and it was
something, yeah.
playing that song.
And then to tie it all back together, they started playing All Star.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Yeah, we're all back to square one. Do you guys ever watch Tim and Eric?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the one where for no reason they decide to like push Shrek 3 like
Yeah.
super hard leading up to its release?
Yeah, a whole
like
bunch of commercials.
creepily, and then they like wear face paint and stuff.
And they kept saying it was a Disney movie.
It's-
They're like,
yeah,
Disney's
yeah.
Shrek, and they kept calling it Shrek 3, even
Yeah.
though it's Shrek the Third.
yeah.
No, it's fantastic. I love
The
Tim and Eric
special
so much.
effects are mind blowing. Yeah. Eddie
got
Murphy's
Mike
so
Myers.
wishing Eddie Murphy a great day at the box office. We Dopapod was really into that for a while, that
Okay.
sketch. So there was one show, it was the last show of our tour, where we were like exhausted and everything, and like did a shot of tequila before the show because we were like, let's just come on. And the entire show became us like pitching Shrek 3 in 2017, like 10 years after it came out or something.
Rochester's
rich,
John
baby.
Lithgow.
This is in Baltimore, yeah.
John Lithgow.
Oh yeah, with Rochester's own John Lithgow. But we're in Baltimore, so why should they care?
I'm John Lithgow, and my mouth is a circle. That's a Dan Harmon joke. What was I going to say? Oh, you know what? Just to ask you one more thing about murder, because love murder.
Oh yeah, it's
You
the
love
best.
murder too? You're asking about the podcast. Do you like true crime?
I like a lot of true crime, yeah, for sure. Not as much lately. Lately, I'm a little off the bus with it. I would rather like watch something that makes me feel kind of good.
Yeah, it's not great when you're walking alone and you think about how you can be murdered.
Big on like World War I and World War II documentaries.
Ah, very
Big.
cool.
Big.
World War I was terrifying.
Do you ever-
and not
yeah.
pictured very often.
Do you ever watch or did you ever listen to the Dan Carlin Hardcore History podcast?
I love that podcast.
Yeah.
But I've never listened to the
There's a World War One.
Yeah, the World
Dude,
War
it's
One
like,
is like the
6
classic
parts
ones,
long,
isn't
and they're all like at least 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Carlin.
Oh, he's a great storyteller, man. It's great. You could be talking about that bottle of water,
Yeah.
and he would find a way to make it interesting.
His voice is just fantastic too. Like
Yeah.
he gives
Yeah.
everything so much gravity by the way he talks.
The first time I listened to it was with Michelangelo from the Turquoise Drummer,
Okay.
and we were listening to it in his car, and we kept cracking up at the way he says the word again. He's like, and then he does it again,
Again.
and then he did it again, and again.
I think what I listened to, the episode that I listened to was the one about the Battle of Thermopylae. The
there's
that
one about
300 is
that.
based on? Yeah.
Oh, that's the only one I've listened to.
It's really good.
I feel like wherever I'm looking up podcasts, I'm not seeing all of them that there actually are. Like it's a limited.
Well, they weren't all free.
Oh, did they just give you a couple freebies and then there's like a ton
and I saw the
more
one
if you
from
subscribe?
300, so I clicked on it.
Hardcore history is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a paywall on it. Yeah, that can be problematic.
You guys would
sometimes.
know. I mean, this is what you do. I'm new to the podcast thing, you know. Yeah.
No, ours is all free. We're never. I've never really understood like putting your stuff behind a paywall. I think that you have to have a lot of juice to do that. Like because a lot of people just want to get into it, and getting into it means that you have to listen to the early episodes.
Yeah.
But what I was going to ask you about when we were talking about murder, is you have a song called "Picture in Picture"
Yeah.
that is about a serial killer, right?
Yes, it
Or
is.
You thought your neighbor was a serial
Yeah.
killer. Yes.
Yeah, you got it, man.
You
Yeah.
want to? What made you think? What was your neighbor doing that made you think he was a serial
Probably
killer?
wasn't doing anything. I'm probably weird, you know? But so I was living in New Jersey and I was in a relationship and we lived on the second floor of a meat shop off of the Hamburg Turnpike,
Okay,
you know? And it was kind of a spooky building.
I can imagine.
You know?
The second floor of a meat shop.
Yeah,
being-
and there was like, they were like butchering animals downstairs and just like it kind of had the Sopranos vibe.
yeah.
And there was one other apartment across from ours, and I don't know, the guy just like it didn't seem like he came in and out at really weird hours, and he drove this van for the like local liquor store,
Okay.
but I never saw him working at the liquor store ever once. and he was a big guy. Like if he wanted to fuck you up, he could have.
Okay.
So I don't know. We just like developed this weird kind of theory about him that we were sure wasn't true, but
If you had to give him like a calling card or something like that, what would it be?
like his murderer name,
Yeah, or his murderer name, and then maybe we can work out
Oh,
from that, like
the-
what he does.
the Bottle King Killer.
The Bottle King Killer.
Yeah.
He puts bottle caps on their eyes.
Oh, totally, dude. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I always develop theories about my neighbors too, which
Okay.
is why I thought it was interesting. I heard you talking on the radio about that. But like my neighbors upstairs, I always think that they are like doing some kind of CrossFit upstairs, but not like CrossFit itself. Like I think they're trying to develop their own workout routine.
Yeah.
Like because I hear them at night, it's like 9 o'clock at night, and then it sounds like they're doing like suicides, like sprints back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And like I don't know what you would be doing at 9. Like, going back and forth to the fridge like that fast, that would cause that kind of noise.
Yeah.
But I always think it's funny to, like, people watch and kind of, like, make your own theories about them. It's fun to have your own inner life. And then when you actually talk to them, have that weird shit behind your eyes. When you're talking to them, they're like, why is he looking at me weird? It's like, well, because I think you're a serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if you stop murdering
You're the
people-
weird one.
Yeah. Stop murdering
It's not weird that I think you're a serial killer. You're weird. You did something. You know?
All right. You want to plug some stuff?
Oh, geez. Sure. That was that. You caught me off guard there.
Oh, sorry.
But let's see here. So I'm at
This transitions in the game.
I'm at Disc Jam right now. We both know that. But after this, next week I'm meeting up with. I've never done these gigs before, but I've been learning the tunes. I started learning the tunes in like March because I wanted to do a good job, and hopefully that's what happens. But I'm playing with Jazz's Fish,
Okay.
who's this cool thing. They do all Fish tunes, but instrumental and with like a big horn section.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of because Fish toured with a horn section in like the early 90s, and they get a bunch of the horn players who did that.
Oh, that's cool.
The giant country horns. And like some of the Snarky Puppy guys are doing it too. And Felix Pastorius, Jocko's son, is playing bass.
Cool.
And I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun.
I'm doing 2 runs with them. I'm doing, this coming week, I think we're doing Boston, New Hampshire, and Brooklyn. And then we're doing all like upstate New York. We're doing Albany. What's the next one? I can't remember. Albany, and then another one, and then Rochester for Rochester Jazz Fest, so I get to play at home. And I'm also doing a late night set that night with a bunch of friends of mine from home at Flower City Station, like once the Jazz's Fish show gets out. And then we're doing Syracuse as well after that.
Okay, so that's a mid-roll plug.
Yeah.
Did you want to ask us a question?
Oh, your favorite shitty movies.
Yes, that's a great topic.
Yeah.
It was funny because a little behind the curtain here, when we walked in, you're like, well, do you want me to like have a topic? And I was like, it's completely up to you. And then you just came up with that like on the spot.
Dude, it hit me like a beam of light. Yeah.
So what's your favorite?
Well, you mentioned The Sixth Day, and
Sixth
that's a
Day.
good shitty movie.
That's a great movie.
I think the ultimate for me by far is Starship Troopers.
Yes, with Gary Busey's kid.
Yeah. Jake Busey.
Jake Busey, yeah.
Casper Van Dien, I think it's like the only movie he made.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil
Oh,
Patrick
yeah.
Harris is in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I gotta watch that again.
Yeah. He's like the telepathic friend.
Okay.
And
he's the guy that gets his
yeah.
head plunged in.
No, that's the guy who like steals Casper Van Dien's girlfriend.
Okay.
And that guy's a douche anyways, and so it's sick when his brains get sucked out. But I like that it's shitty, but it's still like super high budget.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's the guy that made RoboCop.
Yes.
And I watched like the special features eventually, and he takes it like a little too seriously.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, I wanted to convey a kind of thing like Nazi Germany, I wanted to like it's not as funny as he probably shouldn't be taking it so seriously.
Yeah. Because
And that makes me love it even more.
do you know about the book? Like how the book was set up?
I read some of it when I was a little kid, and I remember it being way, way different. I don't think
Yeah.
I finished it because I was a kid, and that's how you
Yeah.
that's how you work. But
It's like super satirical, and like the whole point is it's supposed to be like a hyper militaristic culture, like we've got to go over there and kill all these things for our freedom, and it turns out
Yeah.
that they're the invaders. Like they do that a little bit in the movie, but I don't think it plays as funny as it's supposed to be.
yeah,
Was
They
I
did
gonna
that on Futurama.
what?
They
The-
invaded a planet thinking like they were
Oh yeah.
doing something good, and they found out they were the bad guys.
Not to suck the fun out of the room, but it happens all the time.
yeah, totally. Wow, wow.
What was I going to say? Fun fact about Starship Troopers. First boobs I saw on screen. as a young boy.
Oh,
And
there
I
you go,
remember
man.
we watched it with my dad, and my cousins were over with me, and we were like, you cannot tell your parents that you saw this. Look at me in my eyes. Do not fuck this up for
Yeah.
us. We will watch this movie again. We'll get those 10 seconds, those 10 glorious seconds.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
The first boobs I ever saw were and sorry, Mom and Dad, if you hear this, but were Interview with the Vampire, which is called Interview with the Vampire and not a vampire.
Yes, common misnomer.
misconception. But yeah, I think that was the first time I ever saw that.
I'm trying to think about. Do you have a favorite bad movie?
Yes, the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
What? There's a garbage pail
Pail
movie?
Kids
Yeah,
movie.
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my friend had it on tape when I was in college, and we watched it. And it starts out, this old guy is running an antiques shop, and in the attic there's like a box filled with the Garbage Pail Kids, I think. Or no, maybe he found them in the dumpster. I don't know. Either way, they came from outer space.
Okay.
And he hears them, like, for some reason in the attic of his shop, and he goes, if I find anyone up there, I'm going to be very surprised.
Turns out he found someone.
Yeah,
he
he
found the Garbage Pail Kids,
Yeah.
and they're disgusting.
I found a bunch of weird animatronic.
Yeah, it's a disgusting movie.
Yeah.
I did not finish it, but
don't-
it's forever in my mind.
I don't know how.
I don't remember enough about it to know anything.
I remember the trading cards. I never saw the movie, but like I never understood like how it was so profitable to have that. Like that
Yeah.
shit was
I
gross.
had 'em.
I mean,
Yeah.
I had them too. Listen, I'm a part of the problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying
What
to-
about you? What's your
I'm
favorite
trying to
shitty
thi-
movie?
I mean, I like my mind is screaming The Room, but like that's such a classic good bad movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I talk about this a lot. Is the difference between a good bad movie and a bad good movie?
Okay.
Like, what's a bad good movie? Like a movie that was really intended to be like an Oscar winner and they just totally blew it.
Well, I mean, The Room. He thought he was making a great movie.
Oh, okay. So, bad good movie, like it's just bad. It just sucks.
Oh, okay.
Is Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage?
Okay. Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It's pretty joyless.
Yeah.
Or
Or We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson.
oh my god,
You
you're
know-
gonna make my dad
yeah.
cry.
Really? Does he love that
Oh
movie?
my god, my dad watches We Were Soldiers over on loop. He'll watch the scene if I'm thinking of the right movie. There's a scene We Were Soldiers. That's Mel Gibson, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a scene where
Vietnam.
they're charging the Vietnamese or something like
I think
that.
it's like the
Viet Cong.
Nha Trang Valley or something like
Yeah,
that.
so they're charging them, and then they look up, and the helicopters come in. He will watch that 10-minute segment over and over and over again in a night, and he just loves it. Like it's,
That's funny. So, do you want to know something about that movie? Is
Sure.
that our bass player Chuck, his dad used to work on movies in Hollywood, and he worked on that movie, and that's the movie that made him quit.
oh my god,
Working on movies.
because he was working with Mel Gibson, or
No, he just thought it was a stupid movie. At least that's what Chuck said. Yeah.
that made him lose faith in movies entirely.
Yeah.
It's like only still images for me from now on.
Yeah, yeah. But, you know, I almost still like that they thought it was going to be really good, kind of.
Oh,
or at least
yeah.
it seems like that.
Yeah.
And then it ends up just being a turd, you know?
I always think that there's gonna like whenever I see certain movies, like I'll see the previews for it. Like what was the one that came out about with Meryl Streep last year? It was
I don't know. I don't follow Meryl very much.
oh, The Post. That's the one.
Oh, was that good?
No, it
No.
was so bad, and it was Oscar bait.
What was it even about, anyways? I don't
The
remember.
Washington Post.
Oh, okay.
And it was about, I think, the Watergate scandal.
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
But it was like I watched like 15 minutes of it, like
Uh-huh.
the tail end of it, and my girlfriend and her family were watching it when I came in, and like it was just so without joy and just so bad.
Yeah.
Like no tension. Like they were trying to do like Spotlight.
Spotlight was amazing.
Yeah,
That was a
and
great movie.
They missed that by a million miles. It was
Okay.
so bad.
Yeah. What are other bad movies? There's so many, and I love them so much.
I mean, I enjoyed Power Rangers 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
That's the first Power
Is that
Rangers
the
movie.
first one?
I loved Ivan Ooze.
Yeah.
Oh man, childhood.
I love the scene that I have
I
like
love that
burned in
movie.
my mind is they're like the ooze like turns the people into monsters. Right?
Yeah.
And they're like take the ooze home, and it was like a song or something like that, and it was like
All I know is, we're in trouble. Something's coming up, and it's burst our bubble. Yeah.
but there was like a commercial. It was like they were like sending like subliminal messages to the kids or something like that.
Okay.
And they were like, take the ooze home and bring it to your parents and stuff it in their faces. And that was like, I was like, whoa, this is like, oh my God. Like
They kicked it up a notch
they
from
really,
the TV
like-
series there, huh?
It's everywhere. It could be any time.
When I was in 4th grade, I got some like light, like LA Gear style Power Ranger sneakers, and I was so stoked.
Okay. Did
And-
they light up?
Yeah.
Okay,
And nobody gave me the memo that Power Rangers just weren't cool anymore.
Oh.
And I got lambasted.
Oh, no.
I just got torn apart by everybody at school. I think I even went home and changed my shoes.
Oh, that's a rough one.
This is like 4th fucking grade, man. Like, you're a kid.
I-
What are you? Like 9, 8,
Dude,
9?
Yeah, 4th grade would be 9.
Yeah, but apparently I should be watching the State of the Union address and reading Catcher in the Rye or something.
Well,
Come
I
on, get over
think,
yourselves, assholes.
Once the Green Ranger became good and came back as the White Ranger, and now he
Yeah.
was leading the
Dude,
Power
that was
Rangers.
pimp,
like,
dude. Are
kinda
you
lost
kidding?
interest after that.
I don't know. I thought the White Ranger was tight.
Yeah,
That was
he
badass.
He had the freshest clothes.
That was the
for
only
sure.
Power Ranger action figure I had because they were so hard to find. You had to like get to the toy store at like 6 a.m. to get by
to
'em.
get Power Rangers in
I
general.
think that was a thing, yeah.
Oh,
Or
wow.
maybe my parents just said that so they didn't have to buy them for me. I don't know. They wouldn't have done that. They're cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's funny that happened to you when you were in 4th grade because that happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I was at a party.
You had Power Ranger sneakers that lit up?
I wish I had light up Power Rangers. If somebody said, "Hey, those are stupid to you," I would just flex on them so hard. I would just start breakdancing, the lights going off
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
No, but I helped my brother move, and I had a shirt for my podcast on. because
Okay.
I was moving.
Yeah.
I don't wear it a lot because it's like you
Did
don't
you
really,
get shit for wearing your own
Yes.
brand, kind of?
So
Yeah.
so this kid was across from me and he was saying something. He goes, "Well, at least I'm not wearing a shirt for my own podcast." And I was like, "Oh man!" And I like buttoned my shirt up, and he was like, "Well, I hope you didn't button up your shirt because I said that." I was like, "Yeah, man, I did. Like that's exactly why."
Dude, let's go find that guy. I'm kidding.
Coming for you, dude.
I have occasionally, in the wintertime, I wear like a Dopapod hat
Yeah,
because it was free.
yeah. That's
And it's warm and my head's cold. And nobody's ever really given me shit, but that's the answer I would give them if they said anything. Be like, it's cold, my head's cold, and this was free, and I hate spending money. You know? So don't feel bad.
Thanks, man. It really means a lot to me.
Wow.
You told me my hometown isn't so bad. You told me that my shirt is cool.
Yeah. So I guess I am nice? I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry.
I want to be mean, kind of.
I mean, you could,
I could
You
try.
You could go find that old neighbor and tell him to his face that you think he's a serial killer.
Oh, that poor guy. Yeah.
What if he was just in his apartment and he's just like, "Man, I wish my neighbors would just talk to me."
Yeah, could have been. Yeah.
It's like I got out this bottle and it's just, I'll give it to him because it's leftover from the liquor store, and every time they see me driving the truck, it's like it's full of free
Yeah.
stuff. But
He did kind of help us move out of our apartment.
was he taking meticulous notes about the dimensions of the
No.
inside of your apartment?
No. I think he moved, he helped us move one thing down the stairs, and then there was one time when I couldn't, disconnect the little cable wire from the TV, and he was like, I got pliers,
I got pliers.
I got pliers. I use them to take people's, eyes out and stuff, and
Yeah, he just comes out and he's got a whole set of pliers and blades and
yeah. Yeah. He's got, a perfectly spick and span room with, cutlery, and it's just playing, Enya music,
Enya. Is that what
Enya.
your go-to serial killer music
he
would be?
he listens to something really soothing while he chops people up.
I mean, it makes sense. Calms you right down.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
your
the
hand-
fucked up part. Is
your hand
that's
doesn't shake.
that's his happy place. That's his place of peace. That's what's messed up, dude. He's not gonna listen to Guar or something.
Meat sandwich.
Yeah. Oh shit, sandwich. Anyway, sorry, I got a little too dark there for a sec. Is that okay?
Yeah, we do a lot of.
Oh, right
stuff.
on. Okay.
So I think. Does anyone else have anything to add?
I'm good.
I'm happy to.
I had
be
a
here.
great time talking to you guys.
I'm
This
glad
was
you
fun.
had fun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I annoyed you on email.
You didn't annoy me, man. We had to get it done,
No, I think that's going to be my tagline when I meet anybody that I've talked to over email. Sorry, man. Sorry. I don't know. I
Yeah.
got an itchy trigger finger with those emails.
I got to apologize to. They're playing right now, but the sax player from Moon Hooch who's playing right now.
Uh-huh.
We've done a lot of shows together over the years, and didn't recognize him when he said hi to me backstage earlier today.
You didn't recognize his face?
Well, he had cut his hair and he had sunglasses on, and they're like some of the deepest players in the, like some of the most creative, like
Yeah.
deepest musicians in the scene. And it really, like, I don't think he cared, but I cared.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really feel like I'm like, man, fuck, you know.
I did that to one of my friends recently. We haven't I had him on the podcast a while ago, but I walked into his house and I said, "Hey man, I'm Andy. Nice to meet you." I thought he was his own cousin, but like I walked in. He had cut his hair, cutting some. I think I might have like a little bit of like face blindness going on because I don't recognize people from afar ever. And like sometimes when people change their look a little bit, it's like it takes me like a while. But he cut his hair and he had a mustache all of a sudden, and he was wearing like a gold chain and like a wife beater, like tank top. And like I was like, no, this is obviously his more Italian cousin. Like,
Yeah.
this is like, you know, it's just got to be like his name's Tim. This has got to be, you know, Jim. I don't know.
I've been getting a lot of, "Do you remember me today?"
Oh no.
And there's no more awkward way to start a conversation.
Honestly, though, I think
I feel so bad.
I don't
I'm
know.
honest though. I'm like, nah, sorry.
Well, I think that at least when I ask somebody, say, "Hey, do you remember me?" It's because I think that they might not. You know what I mean? So I think,
yeah. So then you're leaving the door to say, you know.
yeah, I think
Wait,
that
guys, 2 nights ago, someone recognized me from the Army. And I was not in the Army.
how long did you go with it for?
Oh, I didn't. I told him immediately. Well, I let him keep talking until he stopped talking. He was like, "Oh, yeah, man, I went all over. Where do I know you from? Where were you stationed?" And I was like, "Oh, I was never in the military." He's like, "Are you sure?" And he was asking me if I was sure if I was ever in the military. I was like, "Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm
let me
pretty sure."
think, you know.
All of a sudden, you just have a flashback. You're like, no!
And he was like, "I don't know. I know a lot of faces. I've been all over. I saw a lot of fucked up shit."
You ever seen We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson, you know?
My dad watches that on loop.
Oh, shucks. Well, good
All
times.
right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on, Rob.
Thank you for having me. I had a
Thank-
great time.
Shane, thank you for co-hosting with
No
me.
problemo.
This is Shane, everybody, guys. He's going to be here all weekend.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
All right. Thanks, guys. Everyone I know.